Hello and welcome to the news from Bahrain International. I am Aisha Ibrahim. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa received at his residence in Abu Dhabi the UAE President, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. His Majesty exchanged with the UAE President friendly talks on the strong fraternal relations between the two countries, praying to Allah the Almighty to maintain their progress, stability and prosperity. The two sides discussed cooperation and coordination in various fields that serve their mutual interests and fulfill the aspirations of their people, affirming the mutual keenness in continuing the fraternal consultation approach for the interest of the GCC countries and the Arab region. The meeting was attended by the ruler's representative in Al-Dhafra region, His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Zayed Al Nahyan, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, and His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa, in addition to the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Presidential Affairs, His Highness Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the Special Affairs Advisor at the Presidential Court, Sheikh Mohammed bin Hamdan bin Tahnoon Al Nahyan, as well as the UAE Ambassador to Bahrain, Sheikh Sultan bin Hamdan bin Zayed Al Nahyan. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa returned to Bahrain following a visit to the UAE. His Majesty the King met with UAE President His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, with whom he reviewed the deep-rooted, distinguished relations between the two brotherly countries and discussed cooperation in various fields. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa was at the forefront of those welcoming His Majesty the King home. As per the royal directives of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa to provide urgent humanitarian relief aid to brotherly and friendly countries affected by the earthquake that struck Turkey and Syria, His Majesty the King's representative for humanitarian work and youth affairs, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, announced opening the door for donations and contributions in support of the earthquake victims in Turkey and Syria. The announcement came based on the desire of the honorable citizens and residents to contribute to supporting those affected by the earthquake and to contribute to the national efforts of Bahrain in implementing this royal directive. His Highness Sheikh Nasser expressed his thanks and appreciation to His Majesty the King, the Honorary President of the Royal Humanitarian Foundation (RHF), for the continuous humanitarian initiatives in helping brothers and friends, providing relief to the afflicted and extending a helping hand to the needy in various parts of the world, which comes within the endeavors of Bahrain to consolidate international solidarity based on fraternal ties that unite peoples of the world. His Highness lauded the great support that the RHF enjoys from the government headed by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, stressing that the foundation is honored to implement the directives of His Majesty the King. His Highness added that based on this directive, RHF Secretary General Dr. Mustafa Sayyid was appointed as the CEO of this campaign and was assigned to take all necessary measures to facilitate the participation of citizens and residents in this national campaign. For his part, the RHF Secretary General confirmed that under these royal directives, all formal and organizational measures necessary for this national campaign will be taken and communication numbers will be published to ensure everyone's participation with ease. Dr. Al-Sayyid called on all institutions, private sector companies and individuals to contribute to this national campaign in favor of the victims of the earthquake in Turkey and Syria. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa received the 12 finalists of the 5th edition of the Government Innovation Competition Fikra at Ghaibiyah Palace. His Royal Highness highlighted the importance of investing in Bahraini nationals, who are the kingdom's greatest asset and remain an integral part of the kingdom's comprehensive development led by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. His Royal Highness emphasized the importance of supporting creativity and innovation among Bahraini nationals so they can contribute their creative solutions to overcoming various challenges and turning them into future opportunities. His Royal Highness noted that Bahrain's achievements are the results of the efforts of the kingdom's national cadres, who are committed to being active partners in Bahrain's development and growth. His Royal Highness affirmed the role of Fikra plays in instilling a culture of creativity and innovation in the public sector, highlighting how the results of previous creative initiatives and projects have had a positive impact on developing government work streams. His Royal Highness also noted the importance of continuing to introduce and adopt more initiatives aimed at stimulating innovation and competitiveness in the public sector. His Royal Highness congratulated the finalists for reaching the final stage of the competition and for passing all stages of evaluation, noting their distinguished presentations of different creative ideas and wished them continued success in their careers and in achieving their goals. His Royal Highness honored Fikra's winners and expressed his hope that their ideas will contribute to the kingdom's development process and Bahrain Economic Vision 2030, and thanked the people of Bahrain for their efforts and dedication. For their part, the winners expressed their appreciation for His Royal Highness's commitment to supporting and encouraging national cadres and involving them in initiatives and projects that contribute to the development of government performance and foster a culture of creativity and innovation in government work streams. The 12 qualifying concepts were selected through a comprehensive evaluation process, combining evaluation by a committee of government ministers and a public vote. The winning concepts were motorcycle ambulance, the fast responder, presented by Fayez Al-Shamikh from the Mohammed bin Khalifa bin Salman Al Khalifa Specialist Cardiac Center, and the legislation laboratory presented by Abdul Aziz Al-Maawda from the Legislation and Legal Opinion Commission. Meanwhile, 360 educator evaluation presented by Noura Al-Jodar, Sheikh Al-Fadala, Mohammed Al-Awainati and Latif Al-Doy from the Ministry of Education won the public vote. In addition to the three winners, the other qualifying concepts were Mashtal by Hamad Ali Isa, Sheikh Mohammed Al Khalifa and Hassa Al Bin Ali from the Ministry of Interior. Knowledge Sharing Platform Darribni by Abir Miftah from the Ministry of Information. Ambassadors at Large by Fatima Dha'in from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. National Statistics Repository by Dr. Onas Mahmoud from Government Hospitals and Dr. Amin As-Saati from the Supreme Council of Health. Circular Bahrain, a circular economy initiative to enable industrial symposiums and the transformation of waste into value add by Sayyid Ali Majid Jassim Alawi Kadhim from the Prime Minister's Office. Memory of Bahrain by Dr. Yusuf Ismail from the Ministry of Information. National Fast Track Service Platform by Reem Limsalem from the Survey and Land Registration Bureau. Green Plastic by Saeed Swar and Sadiq Rahma from the Supreme Council for Environment. The Maintenance Apprenticeship by Dr. Nuha Azayani from the University of Bahrain. The Chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Isa bin Salman Charity Educational Charitable Trust, His Highness Sheikh Isa bin Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, and senior officials also attended the meeting. Three concepts have won the 5th edition of the Government Innovation Competition Fikra, launched by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa. The winning concepts were selected through a comprehensive evaluation process, combining evaluation by a committee of government ministers and a public vote. The Ministerial Committee selected motorcycle ambulance, the fast responder, presented by Fayez Bassam Shamikh Fayez Shamikh from the Mohammed bin Khalifa bin Salman Al Khalifa Specialist Cardiac Center, and the legislation laboratory presented by Abdul Aziz Abdullah Rashid Abdullah Al-Maawda from the Legislation and Legal Opinion Commission. 360 educator evaluation presented by Noura Ibrahim Rashid Al-Jodar, Sheikh Sanad Ibrahim Sanad Ali Al-Fadala, Mohammed Abdul Nabi Salman Al-Awainati and Latifa Khalid Jum'a Ibrahim Jum'a Doy from the Ministry of Education won the public vote. The committee remarked that winning concepts were chosen based on their focus on supporting current government efforts and improving government quality and delivery of services provided to citizens and residents. The committee commended the participants' efforts and wished them success in the future, noting that all 12 finalist concepts were innovative ideas. The committee noted that the concepts will be shared at a government executive committee meeting chaired by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister in preparation for implementation across relevant government agencies. The ministerial committee consisted of the Minister of Finance and National Economy, Sheikh Salman bin Khalifa Al Khalifa, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Agriculture, Wael bin Nasser Al Mbarak, the Minister of Oil and Environment, Dr. Mohammed bin Mbarak bin Daina, the Minister of Social Development, Osama bin Ahmed Khalaf Al Asfour, the Minister of Health, Dr. Jalila bint Sayyid Jawad Hassan, the Minister of Cabinet Affairs, Hamad bin Faisal Al Malki, Minister of Housing and Urban Planning, Amna bint Ahmed Al Rumaihi, and the Minister of Education, Dr. Mohammed bin Mbarak Jum'a. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, Deputy Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa met at Ghaibiyya Palace with senior military officers participating in the Regional Security Conference hosted by Bahrain. His Royal Highness welcomed the senior military officers and highlighted the importance of international security conferences in unifying efforts and visions aimed at safeguarding and advancing regional and global stability. He emphasized Bahrain's commitment under the leadership of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, to supporting international efforts aimed at strengthening strategic partnerships to overcome challenges and enhance global security and stability. His Royal Highness affirmed that security and stability are vital priorities that pave the way for development and benefits all. He highlighted the importance of continuing to enhance cooperation and coordination among allies that share the same vision in tackling various challenges, and expressed his hope that the conference will lead to greater international efforts in advancing joint cooperation in this regard. His Royal Highness then hosted a dinner banquet in honor of the senior military officers' participation in the conference. A number of senior officials also attended the conference. Upon the royal directives to provide urgent humanitarian aid to those affected by the earthquake that struck Turkey and Syria, and upon the wish of the citizens and residents to support those affected and contribute to Bahrain's efforts in implementing these directives, the representative of His Majesty the King for Humanitarian Work and Youth Affairs, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, announced that donations are now accepted. His Highness Sheikh Nasser expressed thanks and appreciation to His Majesty the King, the Honorary President of the Royal Humanitarian Foundation (RHF), for his continuous humanitarian initiatives in aiding the afflicted and those in need in various world countries, which stems from the humanitarian fraternal ties among the people of the world. His Highness hailed the support that the RHF received from the government, led by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. He added that the Secretary General of the RHF, Dr. Mustafa Sayed, was appointed CEO of the campaign and was assigned to take all necessary measures to facilitate the contributions to the campaign. The representative of His Majesty the King for Humanitarian Work and Youth Affairs, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, called on citizens and residents to take part in the national campaign to aid earthquake victims in Turkey and Syria, which reflect the brotherly ties that bind the nations, especially in difficult circumstances.
السلام عليكم جميع. كلنا اليوم شفنا اللي حصل في سوريا وتركيا. الله يتقبل شهدائهم ويعوضهم، ونقول رب ضارة نافعة. على العموم احنا نعرف ان احنا شعب فينا خير. البوست الجاي فيه تفاصيل التبرعات اللي راح تشرف عليها المؤسسة الملكية للأعمال الإنسانية بتوجيهات سيدي صاحب الجلالة الله يطول عمره. فالمختصر المفيد نوقف مع أشقائنا، لأن لا سمح الله لو بقينا الوقفة ذاك الوقت على الأقل نحصل ناس وقفت معنا. فالله يوفقكم إن شاء الله، وخلونا نروي العالم وقفتنا وتلاحمنا وتكاتفنا وفزعتنا. موفقين إن شاء الله.
Under the patronage of the representative of His Majesty the King for Humanitarian Work and Youth Affairs, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Royal Humanitarian Foundation organized a meeting with a number of charitable and professional societies to coordinate a campaign to aid earthquake victims in Turkey and Syria. More in this report.
Following the earthquake in Turkey and Syria, which took thousands of lives and left many missing and caused great damage to the infrastructure and facilities in both countries, the Royal Humanitarian Foundation launched the national campaign to aid earthquake victims in Turkey and Syria, an implementation of the directives of His Majesty the King and the head of the campaign, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa.
A committee was formed as requested by His Majesty the King. His Majesty reacted and asked us to move fast and help the people in Syria and Turkey, which we did, and 2 plane loads will take off. In addition to that, there will be another plane carrying 36 search and rescue team, including medical staff on behalf of Bahrain.
The meeting agreed on the need to work urgently to undertake several initiatives, which include accepting donations from citizens and residents, sending the first aid shipment, in addition to coordinating the launch of a national campaign to collect donations in cooperation with Bahrain TV.
We actually, as a committee, and which is already led by the Royal Humanitarian Foundation in Bahrain, with the all concerns from medical and even actually non-medical support. So as an urgent actions have to be delivered very quickly, and yes, actually we have that plan for a short term and even actually for a long term.
Our role as the Bahrain Medical Society is mainly concerned with giving health resources and maybe providing doctors that will look after all these victims and help with treating them and providing long-term care plans for these poor victims.
The Royal Humanitarian Foundation continues its work in coordination with associations for many initiatives and efforts to aid the victims of the earthquake, which reflects the firm and honourable stances of the leadership and the people of Bahrain towards brotherly countries and promoting the Kingdom of Bahrain in international humanitarian forums.
The UAE Vice President, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, received the Speaker of the Representatives Council, Ahmed Limsalem, and the accompanying delegation at Zabil Palace in Dubai. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid welcomed Limsalem and congratulated him on his election as Speaker. The meeting discussed bilateral relations, the development and growth they are witnessing at all levels, and the means to bolster cooperation and serve common interests. It also discussed the means to strengthen the joint Gulf Action System during the next stage to achieve the aspirations of the peoples of the region. The two sides also reviewed the most important developments on the regional and international arenas and issues of common concern. For his part, the Speaker expressed Bahrain's pride in the close relations between the UAE and Bahrain and the continuous development they are witnessing in light of the common desire to develop them at all levels to strengthen the bonds of cooperation and strategic partnership. The Minister of Interior, General Sheikh Rashid bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, attended the conclusion of the 4th Interior Ministry Olympic Shooting Championship in the presence of Director General of the Royal Family Council and President of the Bahrain Shooting Association, Sheikh Salman bin Khalid Al Khalifa, Chief of Public Security, Lieutenant General Tariq Al Hassan, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Interior, Sheikh Nasser bin Abdul Rahman Al Khalifa, Inspector General Major General Abdullah Al Zayed, and Vice President of the Bahrain Shooting Association, Sheikh Hamad bin Rashid Al Khalifa. The minister and the attendees inspected the shooting field. He was briefed on the equipment, weapons and other shooting requirements and attended part of the final game and hailed the team's good organization and high sports spirit organized by the Public Security Sports Association in cooperation with the Bahrain Shooting Association. He emphasized that shooting is one of the authentic sports that the ministry encourages and has become an essential part of many championships and competitions, expressing his thanks and appreciation to the president of the Bahrain Shooting Association for his prominent role in the success of the championship, which included the participation of the BDF and the National Guard. President of the Public Security Sports Association, Colonel Khalid Al Khayyat, expressed thanks and appreciation to the minister for supporting the ministry's athletes and which had a role in the ministry's sports accomplishments in local and international games. The minister honored the winners and congratulated them, wishing them all success in future championships. General Sheikh Rashid toured the exhibition of achievements and ancient weapons. During her visit to the United Arab Emirates, Minister of Tourism Fatima bin Jafar al-Sayrafi held a number of meetings in Abu Dhabi, Dubai and Sharjah. The minister held fruitful discussions with officials in the tourism and cultural field in the UAE, paving the way for the exchange of experiences and enhancing cooperation. She held a meeting with Director General of the Tourism Sector at the Department of Culture and Tourism, Saleh Mohammed Al-Jzairi, and discussed drawing up a joint plan for cultural and tourism cooperation. The minister also met the CEO of Dubai Corporation for Tourism and Commerce Marketing, Asim Kadhim, where the two tackled aspects of the tourism industry in Dubai. Al-Sayrafi also held a meeting with Sharjah Tourism and Commerce Development Authority Chairman Khalid Jassim Al-Midfa, in which the two discussed joint cooperation and exchange of expertise. In a statement, the minister praised the achievements of the UAE's tourism sector and its growing contribution to the overall gross domestic product, in addition to boosting tourism investments. She stressed the ministry's commitment to expanding cooperation with tourism authorities in the UAE, noting the development of the sector in both countries. Bahrain's ambassador to the United Kingdom, Sheikh Fawaz bin Mohammed Al Khalifa, presented his credentials to the President of the Republic of Iceland as non-resident ambassador of the Kingdom of Bahrain. During the ceremony, Sheikh Fawaz extended the greetings of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa to President of the Republic of Iceland, Guni Thorlacius Johannesson, and their wishes to the government and people of Iceland for further progress and prosperity. Sheikh Fawaz expressed the kingdom's keenness and aspiration to enhance bilateral relations between the two friendly countries in a way that contributes to consolidating bonds of friendship in various areas of common interest. For his part, the President of the Republic of Iceland conveyed his greetings to His Majesty the King and to His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, welcoming Sheikh Fawaz as the ambassador of the Kingdom of Bahrain to his country, wishing him and the kingdom's embassy all success in their new mission. The President of the Republic of Iceland held a reception for all the new ambassadors in the presence of a number of senior ministers, officials and diplomats accredited to the Republic of Iceland. During his visit, Sheikh Fawaz met with permanent representative of the Icelandic Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Martin Igolvesten, Director General of Foreign Trade, Ranger Christo Jensen, and Director General of International Affairs, Maria Mijol Jonsdottir, where they discussed ways to enhance joint bilateral cooperation in various fields, in addition to discussing a number of regional, international and multilateral issues of common interest. The two sides also expressed their aspiration to continue developing and consolidating bilateral relations in the political, economic and security fields for the benefit of both countries and the two friendly peoples. The King Hamad Global Center for Peaceful Coexistence and This is Bahrain organized a panel discussion session at the EU Parliament in Brussels, Belgium. The Vice Chair of the Board of Trustees of the King Hamad Global Center, Bitsy Mattison, announced that the second annual conference between Bahrain and the EU will be held on May 2nd to 4th. Mattison noted that the conference will be attended by partners from 27 EU countries and will focus on the youth, adding that a joint youth work committee between Bahrain and the EU works to identify topics and projects of common interest, which will be presented at the conference. For his part, EU Parliament member José Bozadias stressed the importance of integrating the young into international concepts by developing their knowledge and education to face various global challenges. He hailed Bahrain's achievements, especially in the field of parliamentary work. The Shura Council member Muhammad Ali Hassan affirmed that the legislative system in Bahrain is based on the principle of cooperation between its two chambers and other government institutions, and is keen on spreading Bahrain's humanitarian message around the world.
Today we have formed a wonderful workshop with the young people from the 27 countries of the European Union and the youth from Bahrain. And we chose to do that with a youth working group because in the Kingdom of Bahrain and in Europe, youth are not just our future, they are our today. So we have to equip young people with the skills, the confidence and the opportunities to move forward. But most importantly, we have to listen to them, their ambitions, their challenges, their fears, their dreams, their passions.
So the thing which motivated me today the most is seeing young people come together from different countries, different perspectives. I'm from Germany and I'm very engaged with the German youth engagement, but I never met somebody from Bahrain or outside of Europe. So for me it's very encouraging to meet other young people who are engaged, who are really trying to get to a peaceful coexistence.
I think that youth play a fundamental role because as Ms. Betsy Mattison said, we are not the future, we are the present. So, of course, having a dialogue between European Union and Bahraini youth can be helpful in developing peaceful coexistence.
I think the most important thing is just having open conversation, and I really appreciate that although we're talking about cyberspace, that we're here in person, because online a lot can be said on the screen, but really being able to see the people and get to know them and laugh together on the side and have coffee is the most important thing. So I think what I appreciate is being able to have these dialogues in person and learning from each other's contexts and experiences, because we're all really complicated and also deal with different things. So it's really important to talk to one another. So that's what I appreciate from today.
The National Action Charter, from the foundation of freedom of opinion in the Kingdom of Bahrain and many methods of expression. More in this report.
The right to express an opinion is a right guaranteed by the National Action Charter, which came with the vision of a wise leader who constituted a starting point for a development project that led the Kingdom of Bahrain to a comprehensive renaissance, where journalism and media work was given space to exercise the national role in a democratic climate in order to highlight the civilized approach of the kingdom. The media achievements made during the era of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa came out of His Majesty's belief in the importance of the role of the press and media in shaping the features of the Kingdom of Bahrain and its future, as the media scene achieved remarkable development in line with the comprehensive renaissance and the qualitative leaps and gains it achieved at all levels. The appreciation that journalists and media professionals enjoy is embodied in the Kingdom of Bahrain's launch of many initiatives that highly value the efforts of their national role, most notably the award of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister for Journalism, and the establishment of the Bahrain Journalists Association, and this is evidence of the prosperity that the Kingdom of Bahrain is experiencing today.
The Speaker of the Arab Parliament, Adil Al-Assoumi, chaired the inauguration of the meetings of the Preparatory Committee for the 5th Conference on the Arab Parliament and Heads of Arab Councils and Parliaments. He stressed the importance of uniting and synergizing Arab efforts at all government and parliamentary levels to confront the serious challenges facing the Arab world, foremost of which is the Arab food security crisis. The Speaker praised the efforts of the Kingdom of Bahrain, represented in the efforts of the legislative and executive authorities that develops and modernizes the national legislative system related to achieving food security. The Information Ministry will organize a festival at the Heritage Village in Ras Hayyan on the occasion of the anniversary of the National Action Charter between February 14th and 18th. The festival will be open to the public from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. daily. The Information Ministry's festival is one of the distinguished events that are held in the Kingdom, following the outstanding success of the previous editions in terms of programs and visitor turnout. This year's edition will feature varied events and activities that appeal to all age groups. Visitors of the festival will enjoy the atmosphere of the Heritage Village and its buildings and urban models that reflect different stages of the history of the Kingdom.